Hello, and welcome to FUNVUZ Tutorials. My name is Dave, and I am the host of this channel. Today, we will be going through a step-by-step tutorial on how you can create this spooktacular Halloween wreath for your front door, for all your family, friends, and neighbors to be jealous of. So, be sure to stay put until after the intro and the materials list, because we will get started with the tutorial after those two things. Let's have a spooktacular good time. Let's get that materials list out of the way so we can start our Halloween wreath. First thing is first, you're going to need a wire wreath frame. This one here I just got at the Dollar Tree. This one measures 14 inches wide. You're also going to need Deco Mesh. I have 6 rolls for today's tutorial. They vary in color from black, purple, orange. There's a gray, orange, and white striped one as well, but you can use whatever colors you want. You are going to need 6 rolls of this. Today, I'm actually going to try this Deco Mesh tubing, add a little bit of texture and fun into the wreath as well. Chenille stems to attach your wreath and your tubing to your frame. Ribbon, I have wire ribbon here. I also have satin ribbon that I'm going to use. Decorative items, I have some sparkly, glittery spiders that I want to add into my wreath. And I have this sign here, oh, let me just get it out, that I'm gonna chop up, and I think I'm just gonna use this center section here for the wreath. We'll see in the planning stages and the layout stages what I wanna use. Wire cutters if you have them, or scissors, either one works perfectly fine. Your glue gun, your glue sticks, and a cutting board. Basically, that is everything you're gonna need for today's tutorial. So, let's get to it, and let's get to the fun stuff. I have laid down a protective surface on my tabletop because when we do the cutting of the Deco Mesh, it does get very messy and it does shed. Plus, there's a whole bunch of glitter, so you don't want the glitter everywhere on your table. So first thing I usually do is I cut my Deco Mesh, and what we're going to do today is we are going to cut lengths of 7 inches. Okay, so again, for my tutorial, I cut 7 inches, and that's what we're going to do today. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. So you can take your measuring device or your measuring tool. You can measure out the 7 inches, come down and give it a good cut, and there's your first piece to make the curlicue. Another way to do this is to grab a piece of cardboard or something firm, measure out your 7 inches, and then what you can do is you just wrap your Deco Mesh around that cardboard, keep it taut, just keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, and then what you can do, hold down the Deco Mesh, take your scissors, slide it in, give it a cut, flip it over to the other side, still holding down that Deco Mesh because you don't want it going anywhere. And then slide those scissors in one more time, give it another cut, and look how many you've done all in one shot as opposed to doing one at a time. So I'm going to finish cutting up the rest of my 6 rolls of Deco Mesh, and then we'll assemble it all together to put on the frame. I have got all my Deco Mesh cut right now. It ended up being about 120 pieces of 7-inch lengths. So I will quickly go over how I came up with that 120 pieces. With your wire frame, you have sections. So this becomes a section right here. Now within the frame, there are different sections. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 sections within the frame, and within one section, I normally put 5 bundles. Now, each bundle consists of 4 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of Deco Mesh, and a Chenille stem. So with that, each section has 5 bundles. There are 6 sections totaling 120 pieces of Deco Mesh because you have 4 pieces per bundle times 5 times 6. Makes sense? So let's quickly go through how I make each bundle. So for each bundle, you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of Deco Mesh cut at the 7-inch lengths. Now, since this one is Halloween, I'm gonna do it a little bit of a rustic style. I'm not going to curl it up very tightly or very neatly because I want it to kind of be a little bit messy. So what I do is you just take your Deco Mesh, find the center, with your piece fingers, open it up, slide it down, and then close those fingers to hold it in place. Again, take that Deco Mesh, throw it in, hold it down with those piece fingers, and another one, and your 4th one. And then you just hold it down. With your Chenille stem, find your middle, slide it down your piece fingers, bend it a little bit, grab it with your left hand, with your right hand, fold over that Deco Mesh, then give it a nice twist. So that becomes one bundle. Let's go through another one. So I'm gonna take a purple, an orange, I have this one here that's different colors, and a black. So I have my 4 Deco Mesh, I have my 1 Chenille stem. So let's grab a purple, slide it in, grab this multicolor one, slide it in, and a black one, slide that one in, and our final one, slide that right in. So again, it's a little bit messy, it's not perfect, but that's the look I'm going for with this wreath. Chenille stem, middle, slide it down, grab it with your left hand, grab the mesh with your right, fold it over, then give it a nice twist. And that's that bundle. So again, you're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bundles for one section. I'm going to go through and create all of my bundles for my wreath, and then we will come back and I'll show you how I attach everything to the metal frame. I am surrounded by a wall of my Deco Mesh bundles now. I have created 30 bundles in total. And how did I come up with that number? So let's go back to our wreath again. 6 sections within the wreath. Each section has 5 bundles, so 5 times 6 is your 30 bundles in total. So I have completed all of my bundles. Let's get to attaching our bundles onto our wire. So we flip the wire frame over, we work face down, and we're going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bundles in total to complete one section. Your first bundle, I usually attach to the cross wire here, and I also attach on the 2nd and the 3rd wire going all the way around. So for our first one, I like to anchor it, and then I anchor on every 6th bundle. So we're gonna start our first one here. All you do, take your Deco Mesh, pipe cleaners, or your Chenille stems facing up. So for the anchor, I'm gonna go through the 2nd and the 3rd wire, and also incorporate this cross wire as well. So what that'll do is that will anchor that first bundle. So it's nice and simple. Grab your Chenille stems, pipe cleaners, and give it a good twist. And you have your first anchor. So, second one, grab that Chenille stem as well. We're gonna go around the 2nd and the 3rd wire, grab your Chenille stem, and give it a good couple of twists. And then these ones here, you can just slide them down a little bit. Let's do one more. Again, grab your Chenille stems and your Deco Mesh. You're gonna go through the 2nd and the 3rd wire, pull the Chenille stems, grab them, give them a good twist, 3 or 4 times, then you can slide it down. So for each section, we're gonna do 5, and then we're gonna start a first section again, right at the wire. What I will do is I'm going to complete the full round, and then we'll come back and we'll get to that Deco Mesh wire tubing as well. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's gonna add a little bit of oomph to this wreath, that's for sure. So I'm gonna finish that and then I'll come back. And there you have it. Your base curly Deco Mesh wreath is complete. Now, you can totally just hang this on your front door just like this, or stick around. I'm going to actually play with some of this tubing and see if we can throw some of that in here as well. It's actually the first time I'm going to be using this, so I can't wait to play around with this. But like I said, this is a great base to start with. If you want to work with the Deco Mesh tubing, great. If not, you can go right ahead and start adding on your Halloween decorations. Or, like I just said, if you just want to use this base, that's perfectly fine as well. But this, I think, is a great start to our Halloween wreath. So, stick around just a little bit. I'm going to start experimenting with that Deco Mesh tubing. And then after that, I'm gonna start placing all of my decorative items on my wreath. I've done some playing around with that tubing that I had right here. So this is just Deco Mesh tubing. I got this at the Dollarama. I think it was, actually I can't even remember what the price was, but I think it was under $2 for one of these rolls. And you do get a lot in that roll. So anyways, I've played around with it a little bit, and I think I'm gonna create little loops like this one here. Now, what I've done for this, and I'll show you really quickly what I've done here, is I've taken the Deco Mesh tubing and I measured it down to 36 inches, given it a cut, and just looped it around and tied it with my Chenille stem. So I'm gonna grab my little ruler here. I'm going to measure out the 30, I'm just doing math in my head as I do this. 32, 34. So I'm doing 36-inch lengths. And then I'm just gonna quickly cut the rest of this down to size. But first, what I've done is I've actually just kind of eyeballed my loop size. So I'm making loops here. So I've got 2 loops here, 3, 4 loops together. So I'm pinching that center. I grab that Chenille stem, bend it at half, go right around all of those loops and give it a really nice twist to hold it in place. So that's how I have done those Deco Mesh tubing. Now with the Chenille stems, I've attached these to the wreath the exact same way I attach the Deco Mesh curly bundles. You just kind of go in upside down, the 2 wires, wrap it around, and give it a good twist. Let's go through cutting another one of these together. So again, I'm just gonna measure my tubing while I do the math quickly in my head. I have to do that over again because I lost track. Oh geez. And then there we have it, there's our 36. Cut it down. And I just eyeball the loops. I'm not measuring my loops or anything. So there's my first loop, there's my second loop, third loop, fourth loop, pinching the center, grabbing my Chenille stem, going through the center, oops. Be sure to pinch really tight, otherwise you're gonna lose it like I just did there. And there you go. And the same thing, you just attach these like you did with your Deco Mesh, and it adds a little bit of color, a little bit of, I don't know, je ne sais quoi to your Halloween wreath. And there you go. I'm gonna finish cutting all these, putting it on the wreath, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. there you have it with all the Deco Mesh tubing added. I did 36-inch lengths for all of these, did the twist ties, attached them randomly all the way around, and I think it adds a little bit of oomph to this basic base wreath here. So I'm really happy with the outcome of that tubing. So I hope you experiment as well, because I actually have a lot of fun when I start, you know, grabbing new materials, trying new things. You never know the outcome, and I'm really happy with this outcome with this Deco Mesh tubing. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to take my wire ribbon and my satin ribbon, and I'm going to kind of figure out a layout of what I want to do with this ribbon. And what I've decided, kind of while I was just talking with you, is that I'm gonna do maybe 5 bundles of the ribbon here. So for the ribbon lengths, we just grab our ruler. I usually do 8-inch lengths of ribbon. So what I'll do is I will cut out both these 2 ribbons to 8-inch lengths. Now, to finish off this ribbon, I mean, it's perfectly acceptable to leave it how it is, but I usually put a little bit of a V shape right at the end and create a tail. So how we do that is you take your ribbon, good side facing you, fold it inward, so you'll find the center, grab your scissors, and you want to angle it such that one end of your scissors at the end of the cut is going to be right at the edge. How large of a V, that is totally up to you, but as you can see, as I angle my scissors, that V becomes deeper as I come towards myself and more shallow as I move towards the end. So I think I'm gonna do that right there. I think that's a nice little finishing touch. So one more time, facing you, fold the ribbon in half, grab your scissors, give it an eyeball, cut, and there you go. You're all finished with a nice little tail end. I'm gonna finish cutting the rest of these, and then I'll show you how I put them all together. All my ribbon has been cut, giving it a nice finishing touches right at the end with the V. I'm not gonna cut these guys here. You can as well. In previous wreaths, I have gone through and I folded these in half and gave it a little bit of a cut. But for this particular wreath, I'm not going to cut these ribbons. So how I put this all together is with our handy dandy and trusted pipe cleaner or Chenille stem. Again, with these, I just come in and I cut them in half for each bundle that I'm gonna use the ribbon. So I'm gonna make about 5 bundles, and for each bundle, I'm gonna put 2 of my ribbon here, and I'm also going to have 2 of this ribbon as well. So what I do for each bundle, I just find the center, squish it in, find that center of your Chenille stem again, wrap that around your ribbon, grab it with your other hand, just like we've done the previous Deco Mesh, and give it a twist, and there is your bundle of your ribbon. Don't worry that it's all squished. As soon as we put everything down in the wire frame, we'll fluff it all up. So let's go through another one, just so you can see what I'm doing. So here's our 2 ribbons. I'm gonna grab a couple of these guys here. Maybe this time around I'll grab 3. I just place them down. I find my center, give it a good squish, give it a good pinch, find the center of your Chenille stem, wrap that around, right hand grabs and folds, left hand gives it a good twist, and there's your bundle. So I'm gonna finish the rest. We'll come back and put it onto the wire form. So I have finished my 5 bundles of ribbon, and what I will do now is I'm going to take my wire wreath, flip it over, and I'm just randomly going to place my ribbon. So again, I'm going to use the 2nd and 3rd wires here to attach my ribbon. You don't necessarily have to. You can place the ribbon on the edge here, these 2 wires or these 2 wires. But for this wreath, I'm going to come in and I'm going to use these center 2 here. So a little side note with the ribbon lengths, I'm doing 8 inches. That's just simply the length that I like for my wreaths. Obviously, if you want to have a little bit more of the ribbon showing, most definitely use a longer length ribbon. That is completely up to you. That is your wreath. You can, you know, do it how you want. For me personally, I like just a little bit showing. I don't need long ribbons, but in some of my wreaths, I have actually used longer lengths as well. So it is totally up to you. It is your wreath. It is your creative process. You totally do you. So I'm going to finish adding on the other 3 and I will flip it over and show you what it looks like. Our curly Deco Mesh is on. Our Deco Mesh tubing is on. Our ribbons are on. Again, you can stop right here. You can stop at any stage. Totally up to you. I'm going to go a little bit further and I'm going to start adding on some of my fun items. I'm actually going to go just a little bit simple today with just these 2 glitter spiders and the center portion of that sign that I just showed you. So really, all we have to do at this point now is glue these 3 items down, and then I'm going to be complete with this Halloween wreath. I'm actually really happy how all of this turned out. I don't really want to cover any of this up. I like the colors. I like the ribbon, how it's showing up. So I think I'm really happy with just these 3 items on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue all this down. Then I will come back and I will show you what it looks like after I've hung it all up and let the glue dry. And here's our final reveal. A spooktacular wreath to fill your doorway with some Halloween cheer. I had a lot of fun creating this today, and I truly hope you had a great time creating your own and following along. If you did, hit that like button down below and leave me a comment or question. I would love to hear from you. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new and fun tutorial. Thank you for watching. Take care, everyone.